going on, everyone? Welcome back to Fun, a podcast where we take fun very seriously. I am your Chuckle King, presiding. And it's okay for me to declare myself king, and that's all we'll say about that. As your Chuckle King, it's okay for me to be your Chuckle King. And that's what I feel about that's what I feel about to the monarchy at this moment. With me, as always, is the Chuckle Jester. I'm calling because
Wizard.
I'm trying to keep it in theme with like the chess.
Wizards?
The chess illusion.
Definitely.
There's no wizard on a chessboard. There's no wizard on a chessboard.
There's no jester on a chessboard.
The pawns. That's what they kind of are, right?
Pawns are not jesters.
Well, okay.
No.
Agree to disagree.
Not even close. Are you sure you're playing?
Agree to disagree.
That and not like checkers or something. Shoots and ladders is for you, Dan. Don't be careful.
Shoots and ladders.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi ho Cheerio.
We need to make a theme park version of this. Just a basic kids game. I think I know the right people to do it. We'll call it like cues and coasters. And you work your way up the board, and you occasionally have to. You can fast pass your way up, or you can have to pee and be disabled and be forced to leave the line. You know what I mean? And you can get a dash pass. It's an awareness board game. So do you want me to read what it says for your bit?
All I'm saying is I'm feeling. You mentioned kings, but I'm feeling very patriotic.
I adore you. I love these opening bits you have. Okay,
There's no bits. I don't do any bits. I just talk.
Well, you're feeling patriotic.
I don't know what's making me feel patriotic these days.
Oh my gosh!
I don't. I just feel like there's something in the air. Maybe it's something I'm drinking.
Does this bit offer anything to the people listening only? Listener only.
Sure.
Does this bit offer anything to the entire audience? What are you talking
about? This Sam the American Eagle drinkware that I am holding?
Oh my goodness!
Sipping out of.
Oh my goodness! Well, listen, everyone. You saw the title.
That was worth the time. That was worth the time.
Was it? Was it worth the time?
You know what? Peter will be happy. We know this. We've learned this about our good friend
You tell those
Peter.
Audio listeners that if it was worth their time or not. You tell those audio listeners.
You know what, audio listeners? Get on over and subscribe to YouTube if you're not, because I don't even care if you watch. It's just good for our numbers. And then you can go back to using your ears only. But
also,
we have so much content.
We need iTunes reviews. We need reviews. People put the stars in that. Yeah. We haven't asked.
Put the stars.
But it's time.
Put the stars. Give us 5 stars. Like and subscribe. 5 stars.
Okay. I don't like that we're fighting. We have guests. We have guests. I don't like that we're arguing.
Oh, we do. This isn't just you and me tonight.
No, it's not. They saw the title.
Oh, okay.
They saw the title. They know.
They did.
That our boy's back. The number one. Abu Dee Dabu Dai, Mr. Blue Man, Shishagumi returns from Lost Media Busters, but now he's on a solo. He's like Justin Timberlake, you know what I mean? He's like peeled off, or Nick.
I don't know what that means.
He's peeled off from the NSYNC. You know what I mean? Like he's not. Oh, like he's broken free. Is Shish still here? Shish, are you here?
I'm alive.
Okay.
Yes, hello,
hi.
He's just so astounded.
Your blue man didn't move, and so like I was terrified.
No, I am here. You know what I'm kind of wondering. I'm like, I don't have a mic with me. How are you guys here? Hold on a second.
Uh-oh.
There we go. I had to get a microphone. I didn't have a microphone.
Dan over here talking shit because I'm doing visual jokes. And here comes a guest pulling out the visual joke and getting away with Dan's like, yay, we love it from shit.
I love it.
For those in the audio only, Shish has a cartoon microphone now, and it's very cute.
I love it, Shish. I think it looks great, man.
Yes.
Thank you.
I love your new microphone.
It does.
And
it matches your color. It's very nice.
Yeah, it is. It is very well coordinated. You know, you can get anything in any color nowadays. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And we have another special Muppet loving guest with us that Shish is also working on a Lost Media piece with. It's Scribbles to Screen. What's up, Scribs? What do you
Gate Crashers party?
Yeah, you can find. Yeah. What is it okay that I call you Scribs? That feels weird. It feels like an Oliver Twist kind of nickname.
To be fair, I've always put my real name, well, my sort of pseudonym name on YouTube, but no one's ever called me Edward or James. They just call me Scribs or Scribbles. So I'm just used to it. It's just a nickname.
Yeah, it is weird.
I didn't say say that. I go, hello, my name's Scribbles. My name's Edward. No one's ever called me Edward. No. Call me Scribbles. Call me whatever you like.
So Scribbles, you are a Lost Media Iceberg boy. You love the icebergs. You're like the Titanic to Lost Media.
Well, to tell you the truth, I never used to like doing iceberg videos. And list videos in general, I always prefer doing single topic videos just to really get into the nitty gritty. It hasn't been until relatively recently where I'm like, actually, I like talking about just really niche and obscure stuff, and a lot of it barely has any bones for a full length video. So
right, yeah, a lot of stuff's very boneless. Yeah. Like a chicken finger. You know?
Yes.
No, I like the idea of grouping together little topics. I'm dipping my toes into the Lost Media, and it's fun because you can grab like 10, 8, 10, 12 and like group them together and like have a nice little interesting contextualized little video clip and then move on to the next thing because there's not much to talk about. It's just like, well, it's the thing that we think we know about, but we don't know anything about. All right, on to the next thing. So it's kind of nice.
And you can always hope by, spreading light on it that hopefully it will bring more information forward. Like someone's watching it and they go, I know that. I've got that on my hard drive, but let me share it.
My grandpa played Barney in that video or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So, I also have to celebrate Shish. You're starting your own YouTube channel.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Can you tell us about your first big video, first big Lost Media exploration before we dive in?
Oh my God. So this has been something, I can't even remember when it started. It is gone from, it's so funny because last time I was here, it was 2 months ago, and I was really involved in Lost Media. Now 2 months later, 3 months later, depending on the release of this video, I've not taken a complete tone shift because I'm still going to be doing Lost Media mainly with Dan and Scribbles and other content creator friends. But now I think I've just really dived into my love for theme parks, which I've always had. But I think now, especially because I've taken all the specialties and abilities that I've had with what's called the Lost Media stuff, finding all of this unique information, getting those connections, and I'm putting it towards like theme park stuff now and like histories of just like going really in-depth, nitty-gritty into stuff. And so the first video I'm doing, and it was funny because I was working on this before any announcements were even really made, is an in-depth history of Muppet Vision, and how that's all, how that all came to be, how the land was supposed to be before Jim passed and everything, and the legacy it's had, and it went from what was supposed to be like a 10-15 minute video to something that is likely to be at least an hour long.
Gotcha. So you're going the opposite route of Scribbles, who no longer talks about one topic at length. And so who knows, eventually you'll make your way full circle back around to Lost Media lists again. That sounds really great. I can't wait to see what kind of weird stuff you dig up, because Lord knows you dig up weird stuff.
Dug up a lot, that's for sure.
You have. That's incredible. And you just had you're working on an epic Mickey video right now?
So the epic Mickey video's out already.
It came out?
It came out. Yeah.
I have to go watch it.
It went under the radar a little bit, and it's not a big deal. But it
happens to all of us, Shish.
It is now, Shish. You got the fun bump. So
there you go. Hey, look. Yeah. For people who like internet game MMO things, it's out. It's on the Lost Media Buster YouTube channel. But from here on out, you're probably going to be just finding a lot of my stuff on my own channel, unless I do some collabs with my other friends. So yeah, but
you have other friends. You're saying that you're working with other. Yes. We're not it. We're not your Avengers. You have other people. You're seeing other people. Is that what you're saying? I do like that you're a Lost Media Sherpa in a way. Like you're just like, you like gather it up and you shovel it over to the people, who could use it, like to scribs them out. You know what I mean? So, so it's good.
What do you think a Sherpa is, Dan?
Like those people who take you to the top of the mountain.
Yeah. Okay. I'm seeing the analogy now. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it now. I was having, I didn't know what he was distributing. I guess it was lost media, but you can't distribute lost things. So
yeah. He's like Shish knows how to use the ladder to get across the crevasses. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, I get it.
And
Very
I mean, I don't know, for people who are like disappointed that I'm not doing like lost media mainly anymore. Like I don't think I'm ever going to leave truly doing lost media, because I think especially with just the opportunity Dan has given me to do these lost media videos with him, like those are always going to those are always going to be a thing. So I'm always going to be dipping my toes in lost media stuff, no matter where I go.
We're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it going. I'm having a lot of fun.
In fact, me too.
This brings you to a great spot to be like this. Hey, Shish, say hi to everyone in the video. We're in the Muppets Lost Media episode right now.
Oh my God. Hello, everybody.
We're gonna do a podcast crossover. Shish, thank you for helping me assemble all of this Muppet Lost Media. Can you tell me why you think there is so much Muppet Lost Media? Why is it all, why is this list so long?
I mean, I think Jim Henson was just a guy who just had so many things going on at once. And even the projects that he wasn't a part of and he didn't have his involvement in directly, like all of his other people that he knew, family, friends, everybody, they were all just so talented. So they would go and do their other things. And his name kind of like umbrellaed onto all kinds of projects. So it's like there's little minutia like hidden all across like pop culture that is Jim Henson. And it's kind of wild. You don't even realize it sometimes. You don't even realize that the Henson company has snuck in and built this weird robot or this weird thing. It's crazy how deep it goes, because you think, you look at like the Muppet Show and you're like, this is so simple. It's just like a frog and a whatever and a pig and they're just doing stuff. And then we go into like, oh wait, now they're in the Wizard of Oz. Now they were supposed to be in like Hamlet. Like where did we go? How did we get what? Yeah. So many people have so many different weird ideas for the Muppets. It is this weird thing that everyone's trying to experiment with all the time, I guess. Yep. Especially ever since we lost Jim, there's a lot of people trying to find out what the Muppets are, what they should be, what they should do. Including Disney themselves. They're trying to still figure out what. I don't know if Disney's trying anymore. Oh, that's true. That's true. They're trying to make it look like they're trying. Yeah, no, they're not. It's convincing some people. Ads. Oh, here's a product to sell. Yeah, slap the Muppets on it. Yep. Exactly. The ads now get the Muppets better than Disney. Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they do. So Muppets always work in ads. They always work in ads. Baby, we've been selling it since Wilkins Coffee. They know what they're that's what they were. That's like kind of what they are to like when they are used to sell things, it always works because like when they're shameless, it's hilarious because that's the whole gig. That's the whole bit, Exactly. And now Shish, you're helping Scribbles here work on his Muppet Lost Media Iceberg. Yeah. Oh my goodness. And I know that I have 8 things for my Muppet Lost Media video that I'm kind of digging into deeply, but this list I hear just keeps going on and on. Oh my gosh. We haven't even locked it yet, have we? Yeah, no. I mean, I guess I'm trying to think. Scribbles, you mentioned to me, I'm trying to remember how it all got started. You mentioned to me, this was months ago in a call, and you were like, yeah, I've been working on this Jim Henson Iceberg video. And originally they had just mentioned it, Scribbles had mentioned it to everybody. And I was just like, I'm sorry, Jim Henson? Did somebody say Muppets? Like immediately, like right there. The siren went off. I was like, oh my God. And so I messaged Scribbles and I was like, I would be honored to help you with researching for this video and to, get it just to the best place it can be. Because it's honestly insane. The majority of the research we've done, and shout outs to them, we've literally been just looking on the Muppet Wiki, and looking at all of the articles of all of the canceled stuff, all of the lost stuff. And sometimes they'll have stuff identified on there as like stuff that was a thing. But then you look on there and there's no videos attached and nothing. And you're just like, so where is it? How can I access it? And it's not there. Where it really starts. Yeah. And so we've spent, Scribbles, I can't even like 20, 30 hours total, just like on the phone, just like scouring through all of these things. And I don't even think we're even close to being done, unfortunately. I guess fortunately. I think we're close to at least start making something of a video, but... No, right.
I'm telling you, chaps, this is probably going to be a Christmas video.
Scribbles, we're not live. There's no chat. They can't. Just because you have your sexy microphone doesn't mean you can now immediately start talking to a chat that doesn't exist.
I just want to warn viewers who go on my channel and are like, "Where's the video? Where's the Muppet Iceberg video?" Chill out, chat. I'm still working on it.
I mean, it's a good point to bring up too. The Muppet Vision video I'm working on myself. I keep having people that I tell directly about it because I've sent some friends some little parts of it that haven't been made out publicly yet, and they're like, "Oh my god, when is the video coming out? When is this all going to be put together?" And honestly, personally, I'm at the phase of still doing research for it, and we've gotten to 14 pages of a Google Doc, and I don't even want to sit down and like organize it yet because I'm just like, I still feel like there's more. I still feel like, and legitimately, just today, I found this behind the scenes video from the filming of Muppet Vision that is nowhere else online. And I'm just like, oh, okay. So see, if I started working on this before, I would be, and the amount of interviews I've gotten for this thing, former Imagineers, former cast members. I mean, it's going to be not to plug again, but it is going to be a big, you could
probably buy a Steve Whitmire cameo and ask him to say something. I'm
sure that would go well.
I'm sure that would go great. Actually,
man,
that's so funny. That's so amazing. Scribbles, can you I love an iceberg. I love an iceberg video. What is something in the dark depths of the Muppets iceberg that is going to be really, really low down? That is super niche and weird. Can you give me a little sneak peek?
You know what? Most of the stuff, whenever I start making an iceberg video, that's the first layer I always record is the very bottom. Because I just like jumping straight into the bloody
You're a bottom man, Scribbles. I see.
Well, if you're talking about being a bottom man, I suppose the first thing I'll mention is something a little bit shifty, I'll say.
Okay.
So, we all are familiar with the Dark Crystal, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
ooh, this is spooky already.
What if I told you that if there was a slightly darker version of the Dark Crystal?
Ooh.
But not in the way you're thinking.
Like a naughty, cheeky version?
Like directly dark? Like it was just black the whole time?
More the first. So
okay.
So Jim Henson, he had a goal. He wanted to make the Muppets. Well, no, not Muppets. They're not Muppets. No. The puppets. Well, the creatures of the movie. So realistic that they were anatomically correct.
Ooh, interesting.
This is
so like Skeksis boobies and stuff.
The sort of stuff you couldn't show in a PG movie.
Right, Skeksis boobies.
80s. Maybe they could have. Maybe they would have been pushing it.
Yeah, it was that time pre PG-13. Probably we would have just all of a sudden turned it on, and my mom would have been like, "You can't watch this. There's Skeksis boobies," and then that would
This is so awful. I'm imagining this now. I hate this.
Oh, don't.
This is not good.
I'm sorry for bringing this up.
I am not seeing good things. Not good.
Oh no!
If you know where to look, you can see some behind-the-scenes pictures, preferably of Jen, Spread Eagle.
What does that mean?
Compared to a Skeksis.
Oh no! Right.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Oh yeah. I guess. Yeah. Compare. Yeah. Preferably. Thanks.
We're all in hell right now, but it's
we can go deeper.
Wow. This became an incredibly inappropriate episode, Scribbles. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
I'm so sorry. I promise you, I am more innocent than this. Right. Right. Shall I mention something less?
Okay.
Sorty?
Yeah. Okay.
There we go.
Right. So another project I want to mention is Mirror Mask. Now, how many here have heard of Mirror Mask?
Yeah, absolutely. It's great. It's a wild and wacky movie, man. With it's multiversal. It's really cool.
Was that a Neil Gaiman joint as well? Or was that just...
We don't talk about
Well,
Neil Gaiman. No.
I understand.
We don't talk about Neil.
So for those of you who don't know, Mirror Mask was sort of made as a direct-to-video feature, in the early to mid-2000s as a spiritual successor to films like Dark Crystal and Labyrinth. But unlike those other two films, it features a heavy amount of CGI. And it's often been hailed as a bit of a cult classic now, like the forgotten, creepy Jim Henson movie of the 2000s.
Right, yeah,
And
it is
they
really
really
great. But his
were
daughter
pushing
made
it.
it. One of his daughters made it, I believe. Not.
Yeah. Lisa Henson, I want to say.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I could be wrong, so don't quote
Which
me
is
on that.
interesting because we've seen Brian make a lot of Muppet stuff and like Henson projects. So it is kind of cool to see like one of his daughters, like the perspective of, a different Henson voice,
well,
and
she
like
must have been a part of it, but it was directed by Dave McKeon or McKean.
Ooh, okay.
So
Anyway,
my
The
guess
Lost
is that
Media.
my guess is she was part of the production, though. Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
that way.
Anyway, just to stay on topic quickly, the main lost media related to Mirror Mask that I wanted to mention was a prequel comic book related to the movie. It was announced shortly after the movie was released, and there were no further updates. So what happened to the comic? Nobody knows.
That's what happened. Was flushed right down the toilet, unfortunately.
Not enough sold at Blockbuster.
Yeah, not enough rentals. It is interesting. It is that kind of. It feels like there would be a prequel comic book now, like 20 years later.
Oh, totally.
That it's like in retrospect, like now it feels like is when we would be hungry for it versus
A
like 3
4-issue
years after
Dark
it comes
Horse.
out.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So Scribbles
my
manifest it. It might happen.
Oh my god, there was another prequel comic book I just remembered. I was just looking on the Iceberg a second ago.
We're digging deeper into the ice.
A prequel comic book to a slightly more well-known Jim Henson title, Labyrinth.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Now there
I
are
remember.
Labyrinth comics out there, but a prequel Labyrinth comic, you're saying?
Yeah, prequel. And I think it would have been about how the Goblin David Bowie, came to be.
Got his bulge. Yeah. How he got that codpiece.
Teenage years.
Scribbles, you're making a very specific iceberg with David Bowie's codpiece and Skeksis boobies. What's going on, man?
No, hey, I didn't mention anything about David Bowie's package.
That's true. That was all on you, Dan. That's
David Bowie's package was not all on me, all right? Let's just clarify things right now.
Oh man.
Oh.
Luckily, the pieces of lost media that I found most interesting and the deepest to me about the iceberg were not nearly as dirty.
It's going to be all pitched on me.
You got to freely pick those topics on your own free will, Scribs.
Listen. The dirty topics definitely get the views, and they are definitely entertaining and interesting. I'm not,
What are you, a college professor? It sounds like something Nathan would say.
one's already been clipped. If you don't think Skeksis boobies has been a clip now, that
Oh yeah, it's what we're
Done
calling
and
the
done.
episode. It's the name of the episode. Guys,
Done and done.
What have I
man.
done? Oh, what have I done?
Beautiful. Create pure
I'm-
art. That's what you've done. I guess I should go into the two things that I found most interesting thus far with our research. They both do relate directly to the Muppets, because I just have the strongest attachment to them. I have all Henson stuff. The first thing was this 90s pitch that Bill Prady and some other people at Henson were working on. That was going to be some program they were trying to pitch called the Muppet Institute of Technology. And the whole meanings of the project was to pitch the importance of computers and the fun of computers using the Muppet characters.
nice.
Neat. MIT. I get it.
Yep. And what's insane about it is I thought it was just a pitch, and then I dug a little deeper with Scribbles, and I realized that there were promotional images done specifically for the project. There was a 3D model test done with a CGI decapitated Kermit head, which I was just blew my mind. And
I would assume I I know what you mean, but I think you just mean a Kermit head. A decapitated
Correct.
Kermit head sounds a lot more
Oh, there
gruesome.
wasn't any blood in there.
Yeah.
You can see that Kermit head in, was it one of the episodes of the Jim Henson Hour, isn't it?
Yes. The last episode where they talk about the whole Muppet behind the scenes project.
Jesus, this Muppet sex and violence between the two of you. My God.
We're taking it back.
But yeah, there's a little montage at the beginning of the last episode that goes through all of Henson's projects, and they show like 5 seconds of just this pan of this really weird talking, moving Kermit CGI head, and I'm just like, what in the world is this from? And they don't describe it. They don't just none of it is even remotely explained at all. They just show it, and I'm just like, okay. So that might be something I'll have to dig into at some point later on, because that was wildly fascinating to me. Because
interesting.
The Muppets in CGI, I feel like every time it's been done, for some reason it's involved the chickens. Like there's just a lot of chicken CGI stuff, but like, I don't know, to see the main characters represented in CGI is just such an interesting concept to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a weirdness about just seeing like the Muppets in video games, period.
Right.
Like, seeing Kermit the Frog move around, like, and you controlling him, like this weird lopsided thing, this like weeble wobble frog.
I mean, that's why we like the meme AR thing people do with that, kind of like floaty Kermit dance.
Yeah,
because it's unnatural beyond belief.
Right. There's no way to make it natural. Exactly.
No.
It's just, it's unhinged. It's truly
fantastic.
unhinged.
And then the other thing, and this personally, when I found out about this, oh my God, I lost it. So in the 2011 Muppets movie, there was supposed to be a scene that they had filmed. There's pictures online of the actual scene they filmed with this, where they were going to explain how Kermit and Piggy broke up and why and how it happened. And it was a flashback to my favorite Muppets movie, Muppets Take Manhattan. And they were going to have Piggy in her same outfit from the end of the movie, and it was going to show them just kind of going through this battle. I don't think there's too much description online of what the scene was going to be. I could be wrong. But they had Piggy in the exact same outfit, like they remade it from scratch and everything. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like as a big Muppets Take Manhattan nut, I was like, we were going to continue this story like decades later, and it didn't happen.
That was that was Piggy with her Streisand hair. That was like
yeah. And
that's neat. It's kind of fun idea to like have a Muppet movie flashback to another Muppet like plot.
Right.
Because the Muppets have their own cinematic universe in a way, and so it makes sense. It is kind of fun because they're all actors. Like the Muppets, and I don't think people understand that about Muppet movies, is that they're actors. Like the Muppets are considered individual characters that like live outside of the media they make. And so like, when we see the Muppet movies that aren't like classic literature adaptations, we're just seeing the life of the actors that are the Muppets out in the real world. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Entourage.
Yeah.
Which ones? That would be, I mean, the first one, of course, is them watching their version of their origin story.
Right. Yeah.
Is the second one? The second one's, I mean, it's literally called Hey, a Movie, right? So that's fake as well, right?
Right. Yeah.
Is Manhattan real or fake?
That's it's a fictional story full of guest stars. It's the Muppets New York movie. It's like the New York movie.
Right.
So it's not but like ABC's like the Muppet movie that came out 2004 is them playing the characters, and A Very Muppet Christmas, it's them playing themselves, like the Muppet Show was them playing themselves. Like they aren't considered characters like you would say Bart Simpson or something. They are their own individual like living and breathing things that don't have a puppeteer. Like however weird that is, and it is kind of weird that the puppeteers don't get billed, the Muppets do, but it is what it is. So
what I found most insane about just kind of the Muppet stuff too, Manhattan included, there was a alternate version of the finale scene of the Muppets 2011 where they do the pan out and you can actually see Piggy in yet another outfit from Manhattan. This isn't in the actual movie. This was a shot they filmed, and it was supposed to kind of tie the knot between Kermit and Piggy getting back together, because now she's openly willing to appreciate and be okay with her past self, and going into the new. It was just I was just like, this is so, why this movie? Like, I love Manhattan, but such an odd choice for them to go with. In the
always
long
returning
run.
back, always running back to Muppets Manhattan. Well, it is a great Muppet movie, though.
It's just fantastic. I agree. My all-time favorite.
Funny? You know what's funny, Shish? On our research, we discovered there's actually quite a lot of unfinished or abandoned projects related to Muppets Take Manhattan.
Mm-hmm. There was one thing in particular that I found with Manhattan that, specifically for the movie, that blew my mind, because I feel like the age-old question of, did Kermit and Piggy get married? It always goes back to that movie. There was a comic book rendition that was done and released at the same exact time as Manhattan was released that had a couple gags and scenes in it that were not in the film, but were done by the same Henson people. So it was an official book. And I'm assuming, I don't know if, certain scenes were filmed and they just didn't make it in because of time. Who knows?
There's that picture of Gonzo, isn't there, next to Kermit and Miss Piggy?
Right. There was a line that Gonzo said to Kermit, and he was like, hey, I hope, just to add to the realism, this is okay, but I got a real priest for the ceremony. And Kermit's like, okay. And I was just kind of like, so in a sense, if we go by that logic, they did get married. But Kermit,
nice. Interesting.
So it adds that sense of lore to it. But I was just kind of like, I wonder if they filmed that. I wonder if we had gotten that. And the ending to Manhattan, I'll let Scribbles go into this one because he was the one to find it. But the original ending to Manhattan was wild, insane.
How was it supposed to end?
Oh, God, right. So I think we were up very late about this. So I'm still trying to decide if it was a fever dream or if this was... So what was it? I think from what I remembered happened, we found storyboards. It was Kermit and Miss Piggy. They were flying off on a vehicle around the Big Apple, I want to say, or the Empire State Building, King Kong's home. They were flying around that. And wasn't Yoda with them?
Yes. So let me explain in more detail here. So they get done with the ceremony. Like, I'd say where we're at in the movie is like right when they kiss, and like in the original movie, they fade off and there's the moon and then it just kind of ends. In this original ending, which I'm assuming was cut because of the budget just not being able to hold it, is they turn and the audience now, originally was going to have obviously the Sesame Street characters, Fraggles, everybody, but then there was going to be like all of these non-Henson characters just there. When they went outside, there was going to be, oh my God, I can't remember. I think Smokey the Bear.
Dark Crystal Gang.
The Dark Crystal characters, Smokey the Bear for some reason, like just a lot of random characters.
Wow, interesting.
A real Who Framed Roger Rabbit ending.
Yeah, no, pretty much. And so then they get into the car and it starts just flying off the ground. And I think it starts, if I can remember this correctly, it starts just charging for one of those big Manhattan buildings. Miss Piggy's freaking out. Kermit's enjoying himself. And then Piggy, I think, turns to Kermit and she's like, how is this car able to fly? And then out of the back seat just comes Yoda being like, oh yeah, may the force be with, like he just says one of his stupid Star Wars lines. And I find it so funny, obviously, because Frank Oz directed the movie.
Right.
And he's Yoda. And, just all of the correlations were definitely on purpose. Just very odd, weird, but it kind of works.
Well, it's interesting because Frank Oz didn't just direct it; he also wrote it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And this Jerry Jewell didn't work on this project, and so because you had Frank Oz as the writer, as the director, he's on location, he's toiling away, he's doing lots of weird stuff, he's experimenting, he's trying new scenes, he's always throwing something new here or there, everywhere. I don't doubt that movie has the most random things that didn't get finished or added to, because you had the writer director on location, probably making changes and trying new stuff all the time.
Makes sense.
And putting Yoda in the end, because why
we haven't got the license for that. We haven't got the budget to do the flying, so no license out Yoda.
So many rights issues.
Goodness.
Yeah.
All right, since we're deep into Muppet Vision, Muppet Chat, all kinds of Muppet Lost Media, I have a list of pieces of Lost Media from my Muppet Lost Media episode on Disney Dan's channel that I want to kind of go through and chat about and break down. So I want to start with the Muppet Vision opening ceremony, which is not like entirely lost in that we have 2 photos from it, but where the Muppets first debuted at MGM Studios, there is no video, there's no like special, there's no like, we don't know what happened. We just know that there were Muppet walkarounds and a couple of Disney
movie,
characters.
Or not the movie, from the show that was there, right? These are the same walkarounds.
Yeah, these are the walkarounds that they were at the park that had a Muppet show in a theater. They were about to transition over into a Broadway musical that was an outdoor atmosphere live show called of Roses and Swine. And so these costumes were used pretty heavily. They were at the opening of MGM, I believe, or like at the big signing partnership of Jim Henson and Michael Eisner. Like these things have been around. They were very popular at the time. And so who knows what it was. You can see from this photo that the Electric Mayhem band is in the background on a parade float. And I don't know if we have the other picture, but it shows them.
Wow.
They're standing in front of there. You can see some of the other Disney characters behind them, but they're standing right in front of like a plunger to like launch some fireworks, to set off off the top of the building. Hopefully, and obviously they didn't light the hot air balloon on fire. Thank God. But but these are the only 2 like little pieces of evidence that like remain of, thanks to like a vintage Disney park blog, of Muppet Vision's original opening.
It's crazy.
Yeah, Shish, when you've been diving into your Muppet Vision lore and history, have you dug up anything about the opening ceremony?
I mean, I dug up these glasses.
Shish, we have audio listeners. You can't keep doing visual gags.
I'm sorry. Okay. Whoa, what's this? Oh my God, Muppet Vision glasses. Let me put them on. Now I'm wearing
how does the Cyclops wear 3D glasses? This is the real question, Shish. You don't have depth perception, so what are you trying to achieve?
It looks good. I don't know.
Does it look good?
I can't see.
Does it look good? It immediately blocks your pupil. The way that you receive light and can like receive the images that you're. I don't know, man. This seems rough.
I tried asking when I went, it's like, can you just make some for like people with 3 eyes or like maybe 1? That'd be kind of
Why
nice.
would you need glasses for someone with 3 eyes? What are
I
you
like
trying
that
to
he's
say?
thinking for others, Dan.
Yeah,
I like this.
yeah.
I guess with 3 eyes, I guess with 3 eyes, the lens would be centered for you too. So it could
there
be
you
like
go.
Exactly. Like the Magic Band thing. Like it's 2 sizes. You know what I mean?
You go.
2 sizes fits all. 1 size fits all. Interesting.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad you stole those. That's great. You're supposed to hand those back in, Shish.
Yeah.
You're a thief.
The cast members weren't out. It's like, well, it's closing. Maybe
Only some jerk would steal Muppet Vision glasses.
Yeah, no, not me. No. I bought them off of eBay. No. The not that person should have stole them either. Going back to the opening ceremony, the video. I found out more information about it, as kind of shown in that second image. It wasn't just the Muppets that were there. It was Roger Rabbit. It was Mickey and the gang. They were all there. I found it in some newspaper excerpt that I actually found like 2 days ago. And it was just crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, like this was a big deal. And they tried to make it a big deal because Michael Eisner really wanted the Muppets to go big under the Disney brand. Yeah. And even when they finally acquired them, they didn't. And it's no one's fault but his own. So,
well, that and Jim dying, right?
Right.
It's kind of like a 1-2 punch.
And then Frank Wells dying, and then
Frank Wells dying. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Scribbles, what do you know of Muppet Vision? Have you been over to the States? Have you Muppet Visioned at all?
Oh my God, no! I've never experienced Muppet Vision because
what a shame.
Because I'm not rich. I can't afford to fly to America.
Rich
3 hours, or
yes,
it's not much more.
Closing tomorrow.
You got a minute and a half.
Maybe they'll move it there. Maybe that's where they're going to preserve it in Paris.
Hey, place I can't go.
But I have seen the unofficial uploads on YouTube of the Muppet Show.
Sure.
No, the Muppet 3D show. What am I saying? Ugh.
Yeah. So you've never visited, but do you know any secrets? Do you have any secret lost Muppet Vision media on your iceberg?
Oh, Shush has helped me through it, so there'll likely be something shoved on there. I'm more into I'm more into like early versions and lost deleted scenes, theme park stuff. It's interesting, it's fascinating, but I have no knowledge of where do you begin. So I just dumped that on Shish to sort out.
So what Scribbles is actually saying is that, and I meant to. It was going to come up at some point. Scribbles is not going to be voicing over the entire video on his own. Not only did I assist with research, but I'm going to be voicing over some parts too. So,
ooh, nice.
So all of the theme park stuff.
You're branching out, man.
Yes, all of the Manhattan stuff. We're gonna.
I'll get you on my videos once you can move your arms.
Yes, it's gonna happen. I'm telling you, by the end of this year, my eyeball's gonna move.
I don't know, man. You heavily invested in bits instead of.
I will listen. I will tell you.
You're like a guy with a robot body with arms and legs that don't work, but he has a honking nose. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You look like an '80s comedian right now.
Listen. I got a new shirt actually, and I meant to show it off on the video. Oh my gosh! I got a new shirt. Okay, how we feeling about it?
Oh my goodness,
how we feeling about it? Thank
it looks
you.
Great.
Yeah,
it looks great. Your arms still don't move.
They still don't.
You've invested so much in these bits, but you still don't have arms. You can't gesticulate.
No, it's funny.
Great, by the way, gang. Great content for our half audience, which is.
And even you could like make your little antennas into articulating arms.
Oh my god, that'd be wonderful.
Nah, put a hat on, Shish. Put a hat on, and then you don't have to animate all that.
Good luck. Good luck. There's no way you can move these things.
I've just suddenly realized there's probably one person that has subscribed via the podcast after Shish was here last time, and they're going, I don't know what the hell is going on. They say he has one eye and 3 antennas. Shish is presenting as an animated alien-like figure.
VTuber. He's a VTuber.
A VTube, yes. So just for those audio listeners that might be really confused at this point. Dan, send us to your what's your second one?
So another thing that I think is really cool that's like lost that I would really love some better photos of, and I know someone out there has. Is the Muppet Vision billboard that was what I would imagine on International Drive or like one of the first Disney off ramps, like how there used to be all those billboards all over the place, all those novelty billboards.
This is the best we got.
This is the best we got. Now, part of me thinks that this might be California, that this might be a California billboard, not a Florida billboard, because there aren't hills in Florida like this. So just to throw that out there, in case those aren't trees, I'm just saying, if there's not a foliage, which it might be, but if they're hills, it might be a Disneyland thing. But look at this look at this chaos billboard. Look at how amazing it is.
3D billboard stuff. We love it.
It's kind of crazy.
I just find it tragic. Like, this is lost, and this is the best we have of it. Just this really grainy, fuzzy image that makes it look worse than it probably is.
This grainy photo. I actually told Dan about this a while back. It was in a random 90s Disney World home video. And this picture came from a screenshot I actually posted of it. I think I was the first one to actually find the photo, or any just evidence of this being a thing. And I lost my mind when I saw it, because I was like, I mean, I feel like to, Disney World fans, or even people who went to Disney World in the 90s and 2000s, there's the Tough Be a Bug billboard with the stink bug and the smoke coming out, and their Mission Space. Like, there's all these different billboards everybody remembers from back when, and now it's just PNGs against colored, backdrops. But back then, what was so crazy to me is I didn't realize they were pushing Muppet Vision this hard. And so when I saw the billboard in the video, I was like, oh my gosh, and I tried searching it up, and obviously there was nothing else of it. And I was just like, there's so many details in this. From what I can make out, you can see the ladder I think, under Kermit from the ending. Obviously, there's the big explosion from the end. Kermit's just leaping out at you. Makes me wonder if that's some early version of Muppet Vision. I hope to God it isn't, because that's frightening.
It's this forced perspective Kermit that's like supposed to look like he's busting out of the billboard, and they're just playing with that kind of perspective, and it does nothing for Kermit's figure. We'll just put it that way for the
really
listeners at home.
It is. I just thought it was a really deformed head of Kermit. Oh, now I see his legs.
Kermit with legs is a thought by itself, right there.
Yeah,
yeah. What a wild thing. But yeah, I don't know.
Oh my gosh!
It just makes me wonder.
It's wild. It's wild. Someone's got to have a picture. Someone's got to have a picture of it
somewhere. It has to happen.
Or you're the artist who did it. Like we gotta find it. We gotta figure out.
There had to be one guy. There had to be one guy they kept getting to do all the billboards, and who knows if this one had been lost and there have been no photos of it for decades. Who knows what other billboards were up at some point that just no one's publicly had documented yet.
Right.
Just wild.
Oh, so the next piece of Muppet lost media that I'm fascinated by is the 2008 Muppet Experiment, which was around the time that Disney's California Adventure was doing a shakeup with their park, and they were about to install a new land, Cars Land. They're about to build, just to take you back to a time. And so to promote it inside of the parks, the Muppets, and more specifically, Dr. Bunsen Honeydew, built a time machine to like fast forward to get to when the renovations were done, because they were impatient, but it backfired and sent the Muppets rocketing backwards through time. And so we, as guests of the park, have to then play an ARG web game at the MuppetExperiment.com, which is since delisted. It's not a website anymore. But there were all kinds of crazy puzzles and missions that you would do. And we have a couple of them, such as using Google Maps, like real Google Maps, to track Sam the Eagle's flight data across the state of California. Like, because remember, this was back when Disney California Adventure was still a California themed park. So a lot of these puzzles are California themed puzzles, which is this kind of nuanced layer that like is hilarious. Nobody wanted. And there were all kinds of, and you could go to Bunsen and Dr. Bunsen Honeydew's lab. There were music puzzles. There were all different kinds of puzzles that would then culminate. Here we go. The research department. Just look at it. This just screams mid 2000s aesthetic to me. Like just that old web aesthetic of all the.
We love a Flash game, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, layered PNGs with drop shadows behind them. Like that's all Flash games were. Now that I've done my fair share of Photoshop, I understand that this is just many layers with drop shadows. That's all this is. Very, very cool. And once you completed the ARG, you would then receive a letter from one of the Muppets that would include a map of the park that, like, from the future, which showed Cars Land completed, behind Tower of Terror and next to Pixar Paradise Pier at the time. So this is just wild. Like I found this letter. This isn't even on the like Muppet Wikipedia or Last Media Wikipedia. This was on a Van Eaton Gallery auction that like I just stumbled upon, and so it's so cool that we found this. And what a wild ARG. Do you remember the ages of ARG? I guess not. Just you're too young. You too, Scribbles. You're too young. You're too young to be Slusho. Did you do Slusho? Nathan, you remember Slusho?
Kind of.
Slusho.
Kind
yeah,
of.
Cloverfield Slusho, baby.
I am too young. Whoa.
Yeah, you are too young, Shish. I know. You're a child. You're an infant. You're a baby.
I'm a little baby.
There was a time.
Shishagumi baby.
Yeah, you little Shishagumi baby.
New toys.
There was a time, believe it or not, when whole movies would have their own websites, and those websites would be very, very complex and include games.
Yeah.
It was a better time. Hidden
games. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like we don't do anything like this anymore.
No.
You know, like
I believe the world stopped
like
being
this.
good once we stopped having very complex DVD menus.
I agree.
That's fair.
I
That's
second
fair.
that.
Shish, don't act like you've used a DVD menu.
I have a whole.
You had a tablet from the time you were watching me. Don't act like you even.
Don't act like you know what a Star Wars prequel menu looked like.
Yeah.
That was for my generation. That was a peak of entertainment. We didn't even watch the movie. We just liked the menu.
I remember DVD menus, even though I'm still a child.
Man.
That's so funny. That's incredible. No, you probably do remember DVD menus.
So many. Yes.
What are your thoughts on this, Iceberg boys?
Oh.
Is it offensive to call you Iceberg boy?
Iceberg.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Well, just change it to Scribbles to Iceberg.
Ooh.
Just a whole deep cut, insightful thing about yours truly.
There you go.
Yeah.
Learn about
Then
my
we
kids.
get
What about-
to
Be easy to
Skeksis
read. That I can
movies.
just get out of my
Very
head.
bottom.
So what about Scribs be Berg? You know, like you change it like your new synonym. Scribs be Berg.
Ooh.
One B, then you seperate the B.
This is
you can
bad
visualize
content.
it. It's fine. This is good.
I feel
This
like
is good.
saying ooh over and over again. Ooh.
So no, come on, media boys, media iceberg boys.
I'm a media boy. Yes.
Oh yeah. But we're the paparazzi boys.
what's
We're all over it.
Yes.
Well, Dan, I was going to mention, I don't know if you know this, but I did have a little fact about, if I can bring it back up, the Sam the Eagle picture, which is pretty neat. If you notice, of course, this is the Google Map scenario here where you're tracking Sam the Eagle.
Oh, yes.
Sam was the very first person to sue until people stopped tracking his flights. That was way before Elon Musk and Mark
Oh
Zuckerberg.
my gosh! And
Sam
Taylor
the Eagle.
Swift.
So this is the very first, if believe it or not.
So did you just lecture me about bad content and then bring this bit? And then bring this bit to me?
Oh my gosh. Oh my
Well,
gosh.
I was giving them time to think about ARGs, things they have no knowledge about.
I don't
because
think that they've ARG'd. I don't think that they've ever ARG'd.
I
They're too
think-
young.
No, they're fetuses, basically.
What I will say, there are some current there are some current there's weird ARGs have kind of been taken into a horror direction with certain like projects and games.
Sure.
You know, you could continue. You could consider Five Nights at Freddy's to kind of be an ARG in a sense, since you're jumping between menus, you're jumping between all these different cameras, trying to, you know, and that became a big thing, and now there's all these other big ARG.
Sure, the
things.
genre has really expanded, and now it's very escape roomy. You know,
Yeah.
in a weird way.
Oh, for sure.
So that's what ARGs turned into. You know, those nerds have gone on to open escape room businesses. So and it's fine. Scribbles, do they have escape rooms in the UK?
Yes, we do have some escape rooms.
Do you have is it James Bond themed or Teletubbies? Like, what is?
Well, it would be named. There's
I think
the Broccoli's
first
no
one
longer
I did
have.
was,
James Bond, Teletubbies, Peppa Pig. Those are my three
That's it.
UK media references.
I need a Wallace.
I did a Doctor Who one before Christmas, and I gotta say, I felt so gullible being there. We didn't figure out the puzzles, and I just knew if I was in a real Doctor Who episode, I'd be dead. There'd be
No,
You're exterminated.
you'd Sonic your way out. You'd get out. You'd figure it out. You'd figure it out.
Well, I'd probably hide away and let everybody else die and just jump out when it's safe.
Dang.
Hey Dan.
Yeah.
Hey Dan. Do you hear that?
Hear what?
Ooh. It's
Oh
cruise
my
ship
God.
time.
It's cruise ship time. It is. We've been talking a lot about cruise ships, but that's why I wanted to. That's what I wanted to bring this one up, because I'm really excited about this, and it actually has a little bit of like a fun video game element to it. But we'll get to that. I would like to talk about the Muppets Ahoy 2006 cruise line musical that hit the Disney Cruise Lines, featuring like live Muppets. It was like a live Muppet musical that was on the cruise lines, and they added this to longer voyages on the Wonder when they started doing 10 and 11 night sailings. This was one of the added shows that got put into the itinerary to like pad out the performances.
Was this pre-recorded voices, I assume?
No, these were live voices.
Wow.
Steve Whitmire came and did one show in order to preserve character integrity for the recording, for the pro shot. But otherwise, Victor Yared, John Kennedy, I believe his name was, Victor Yared, Drew Massey, and John Kennedy. Yeah, Victor Yared, Drew Massey, and John Kennedy, some Muppet adjacent performers. And they do Victor Yared. I don't know if, No, You Shut Up, that Paul F. Tompkins puppet show.
Yes, of
where
course.
he would yell at Victor Yared was one of the hot dogs, one of the main hot dogs.
Oh, wonderful.
That he would fight with all the time. Very, very talented puppeteers. So this was a live show. But it would feature pre-recorded segments of like Miss Piggy, who was held up in her dressing room because she didn't want to leave the 24/7 room service, because that's the big gag on the cruise line, obviously. And then eventually she does show up, and then she falls through a trap door, prematurely ending the show, because that's a hilarious gag to have Miss Piggy finally show up to perform. Statler and Waldorf were apparently in the audience with the audience.
Wonderful.
As live puppets heckling everybody. And then they also had, it was a slightly fat phobic storyline in which they had like a Pavarotti, Italian fat suit clown man that would do backflips and somersaults and obese gymnastics, I guess, was funny. I guess that was peak Muppet humor in 2006. I'm not exactly sure. Now I checked in. I did a Shishagumi. Okay.
Oh,
I got a connection and I asked, and apparently the archive started in 2011 for cruise lines. So even the people working at the parks or in Disney Cruise Live Entertainment it's not in the archives. It's not something that they have. So we know that there was a pro shot. We know that there was one recorded for the staterooms, because that happens for every live piece of theater, because they always play it in the staterooms. Yep. But it was abandoned in 2008, but it ran for about 2 years. Now here's a fun bit about this that I learned. Is that on the older Disney cruise ships, I don't know, Nathan, have you been on a Disney cruise yet?
I'm afraid I have not.
Gotcha. No. Well, the older ships have an interactive game very similar to Sorcerers of the Kingdom that Disney World had for a while, like a card game. Mm-hmm. And it's called Midship Detective Agency. Mm-hmm. And it has Mickey and Minnie on it, and that was the main version. But then they added the Muppets to it, and they put like a Pepe little room door on each of the ships, so it felt like Pepe was on the voyage with you, and you could run around and use interactive art screens around the boat to do an AR, a living ARG game with a detective badge, and you would solve puzzles on hidden screens and art. Very, very fun. That released the year after they closed the show. And so one of the Midship Detective Agency cases that you could do is the Case of the Stolen Show, that takes you down a path of finding props that were stolen from a Muppet Cruise Line retired musical that they're trying to put together. So it's a little in-world canonical Muppet, like we were talking about earlier, how Muppets are actors and how Muppets are these characters that exist outside of the media that they're in. This is a midship detective mission to talk about their canceled musical from the cruise line. A very, very fun little added layer of lost media inside of lost media, because that mission is still available on the Dream and the Fantasy on their midship, because I believe those are sister ships. On their Midship Detective Agency, you can still do the Muppet mission all these years later that relate to a 20-year-old abandoned Muppet musical.
So, think of all those families that don't know that context. Oh, isn't this a fun game? But they don't know it's a sequel.
Right. Yeah. Well, we need to get you on a cruise, Scribbles, so you can tell people.
He thinks I'm poor. Oh, I don't go to Chelsea America. We do have cruises in Britain, you know.
I know you have British cruises. I know you have British. The Dream and the Fantasy come over there and do French and Mediterranean cruises. So hop on one, and then just stand next to the agency the entire time. Be like, "Excuse me, are you aware of the lost media related to this project?"
They'll probably be like, "I've no idea what on earth you're going on about."
Wonderful.
That. If you want to make someone feel really awkward on a cruise ship, you do that. You go and look for lost media.
100%.
Lost media investigations on your Disney cruise.
There it is.
I think that's a waste of money, quite honestly.
Oh.
Although there is a lot of media on cruises that becomes lost media. They do lots of stuff that ultimately gets.
I was going to do a video years ago about, stage shows, like, because unless you were literally physically there, you were going to miss it. And,
the novelty of live theater is kind of hilarious in the context of lost media.
Yeah. And the older it is, the chance of somebody recording it on their phone is next to none, really.
None.
Right. Well, not in this day and age. You guys Google slime tutorial, Scribbles, if you're not familiar with the phrase slime tutorial. It's secret code for I brought my phone into a theater and recorded something that I wasn't supposed to. So you just search your favorite show and search a Back to the Future slime tutorial and learn a little bit more about it.
Slime tutorial. That's just a nice way to say piracy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's not a pirate tutorial; it's a slime tutorial. So
slime. That's how we bypass that. So remember, kids, if you want to preserve these shows, slime it.
Yeah.
So Scribbles, I have to ask, what layer of the Muppet iceberg will you place Snoop Dogg's descent? Let me rephrase. What layer of the iceberg are you going to place Snoop Dogg's ascent into sobriety and descent into pornography that caused him to be cut out of A Very Muppet Christmas? What layer of the Muppet iceberg?
D-O-double-G.
It's the D-O-double-G.
Oh my god.
Where is he gonna go in the iceberg for this incredible piece of lost media?
To tell you the truth, I don't think me and Shish have even figured out how many layers there's going to be.
Yeah. No.
Let's say there's so many. Let's say there's 10 layers. Let's say hypothetically there's 10 layers.
Okay, hypothetically, where does Snoop's sobriety ascension, porn descension place on the Berg list?
So I feel like this is a fairly deep cut, because unless if you're a hardcore Muppet fan, this might be over your head. I didn't heard about it until me and Shish were looking up about it. Mm-hmm. I think maybe not very bottom, but maybe I'm gonna say about
pretty
an
close
8.
to the bottom. Gotcha.
Yeah, there we go, close to the bottom.
Gotcha.
So Dan,
it is niche.
Can you explain,
let me explain.
What happened to Snoop Dogg at this time?
So Muppet movies, they're cameo laden. We all know this, right? And so A Very Muppet Christmas, it's the one where Whoopi Goldberg is God. Kermit has a David Arquette assistant. It's a Wonderful Life.
Right. They redo It's a Wonderful
It's
Life.
Casual thing.
Is it good?
Yeah.
No, but it's okay.
It's fine. It's in the era of direct-to-DVD Muppet movies.
It's NBC.
Yeah,
right?
It's good. It does what it's supposed to do.
John Cusack fully commits at a Charles Grodin level.
A lot of them do in this. It's quite amazing.
Yeah.
And it's charming.
At the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah. It's comfort food. It's like chicken noodle soup in a way. It's even though it's like not the best Muppet Christmas movie, it's still a great thing to throw on because it has great moments. It has so many good moments.
It's second tier in the way that like some Ernest movies are second tier.
Yeah,
Ernest
absolutely.
Movies.
But you still put them on. You still watch them. You still watch the one where he kills trolls with milk.
Yeah, I'm still throwing on Ernest Rides Again. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I don't know, to see Kermit yell about not wanting to be alive, I didn't think that's something we'd ever get, and we got it.
It's true, we did.
A
suicidal
I'm
Kermit.
pretty content. Yeah.
I'm just hearing the TikTok voice. Kermit attempts to unalive himself because that's you kids have changed the way you babies, you infants, since that's the theme we have going on here. Shishy baby. Your generation has changed the way that we say. But I know that's a deep cut, but at the same time, Snoop Dogg did go on his YouTube show at the time and leave like a 90-second profanity-laden rant about how much he hates the Muppets.
It's fantastic.
It's quite aggressive. I have no idea how Kenny's going to edit around it. I hope he just like puts like manamanas over all the foul language. Although that would just be he would just have to use the entire manamana song.
Yeah.
So we are filming a Very Muppet Christmas. Snoop Dogg was brought in as a special guest. One of the characters I think asks he's hanging out with the Electric Mayhem band, and one of the characters asks a very existential question, like how they do, they're all spaced out, and Snoop Dogg gives like a very intense answer full of like, it's fascism my nizzle. That was his phase. He was in the fascism my nizzle phase.
This is pre-Snoop line, of course.
Yeah. And It was a phase, yeah.
Wow.
Much like DVD menus. Again, before your time, Tish.
All
before
of
your
this
time.
is before
All
your
of this
time.
before your time.
Yes.
And Zoot, one of my favorite characters from the Electric Mayhem, he like pops up after Snoop's long rant. He's like, man, that's the first thing I've understood around here in 30 years. And it's just this stupid bit, you know, because it's a Muppet Christmas bit. But and at the time they're like, oh, we had to trim it for time. We had to trim it for time until like it kind of got out that that's not why they trimmed it, because Kermit appears on Craig Kilborn, like Late Night with Craig Kilborn, and does an interview where it's so crazy to hear Kermit say the P word. It's just crazy to hear Kermit say the P word. Yeah. For Kermit to hear, like, and this was Steve at the time, but just to hear Kermit say porn, it's just weird. It's just weird. You know what I mean? And we've desensitized to it because of Reddit, you know, like earth porn and like, you know, whatever, you know, like food porn. Like people say the word all the time now.
No, I still call them just cheeky movies. The P word is still too bold for me, innocent me.
Yeah. Mr. Manchester. Not Manchester. Manchester?
Scribbles still lives in a Carry-On film. He's just like, oi, oi, oi.
Yeah. He's
Cheeky
living in Love
movies,
Actually.
a little stag film, oi.
Yeah. But man, and so like Kermit let the cat out of the bag, which was kind of hilarious. And I feel like we're in that era where like it's like release it, like just give it to us now. Like Snoop is an icon now. Like
Snoop, like,
I know
was
someone
the best part
has
of the
it.
Olympics. Like
I know it's sitting somewhere and like on a shelf. I know it is. Don't act like it's not. So like just it's and I feel like this feels like to me the new Margaret Hamilton Sesame Street like Henson clip. Like this is the new clip that I know exists. I know is out there and was removed to save the children's innocence. But now we're old. You know, now Shishagumi can research DVD menus and find out what they were. You know what I mean? We're old enough for that now. So we can see the Snoop Dogg clip, you know? So I need it. I want it. Because I just love the idea of the joke. The joke works really well. Snoop Dogg and Electric Mayhem are a match made in heaven. You know, quite honestly. They're just fabulous. They're fabulous.
For sure.
Will either of you boys have any last minute Muppet lost media thoughts before we move on to fun and tell?
I'll tell you one project. It's not exactly niche. Like, I was just thinking about it when you were asking me about what's low down like on your iceberg list, and I wouldn't put this at the bottom, but I find it really interesting. So
Lay it on me.
Jim Henson's his next big movie project after Labyrinth, it didn't have a title, but he gave it the subtitle The Natural History Project. And it was going to be all about sort of set during the dinosaur times, featuring dinosaur Muppets.
Oh,
sort
really?
Of about a young dinosaur coming of age. So he was in very early pre-production.
But not the mama style. Right. I'm the baby, gotta love me.
So what happened was another movie came out, very similar, a coming-of-age dinosaur story called...
Probably Land Before Time.
Tammy and the T-Rex.
Land Before Time, yeah.
Land Before Time. And then was like, bugger, they've beat me to it.
Wow. For those listening, Scribbles is showing me a DVD, the thing that I don't know anything about.
That's a Blu-ray.
That's a Blu-ray. That's different. That's different.
Same thing. Higher resolution. It's a blue case instead of a black one.
It's not.
You don't know the struggle.
You just put it in a machine and it plays it for you.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you guys.
You guys don't know the struggle.
But I think. But back to that, not the mama. I think some of the design inspirations did bleed into the show eventually.
Wow. So there was a good dinosaur Jim Henson movie, essentially.
Yeah. Well, there was gonna be. Yeah, but
Don Bluth beat his ass.
Yeah, it's beat it. But there might be a script out there of what it could have been like. So
there's concept art. Yep,
that's cool.
Wow. I cannot wait for this Muppet Iceberg, guys. This is going to be good. This is going to be great. Huge. All right. Now it comes to the time where we talk about our fun and tell. We wrap up the episode. A fun thing I'm about to go do is Toy Fair. I don't know when this episode's coming out, but I'm going to go to the Toy Fair and visit a bunch of my favorite brands. a bunch of new brands. I love meeting all the new, like the when I go to the toy fair, the first place I go is the up and coming first timer area, because they're just they want to have the most fun. They want to like show they're the most excited. They're the least jaded. And so it's where I love to hang out. But then I'm also going to, stop into Crazy Aaron's Thinking Buddy. Lego has always got a great, display and booth, and they're always doing crazy Disney stuff. So it's fun. It's really fun to go to the toy fair and see all the, all the wild toys that are on their way, man. Nathan, what are you doing?
I have been enjoying, ever since I got back from Scotland. I brought back with me, and will definitely, you can get it online, but it's a little more expensive here to get in America. But Yorkshire tea has a toast and jam flavored tea that is very, very good. It's a little hint of jam, and it's got a little bit of a biscuit flavor to it. It's very, very nice. So on a cold winter's day, I love a nice toast.
Okay, we're gonna have to. This isn't okay. This isn't okay. So you're drinking bread flavored water is what you're saying? Is what you're drinking? You're drinking bread flavored water?
Yes, and it's very, very good, and it's good. It's good for my spirit.
That is so vile to me. I can't
Thank
even.
Thank you for supporting me, Dan. I appreciate it.
That stink, like in Ratatouille when they spray you with like the bread stink spray, like that unnatural, bread detached from its.
It doesn't taste
from
like
its
bread.
corporeal form. You can't remove you can't capture the essence of bread without bread. So
it's more like the toasty, like malty kind of vibe than like bread is the best way to put it. It's like raspberry malt in that sort of way. Wow. I'm not convincing you, but that's what I'm having fun with. So there you go.
Drinking bread water. Okay, well that makes me sad.
It just makes me sad. I love it.
It just makes me. It just disturbs me.
I love all the things you took away from being in Britain. That was one of them.
No, I
mean, shots fired by Scribbles. Oh man! It's not just me that thinks it's unnatural, Nathan. It's also Scribbles.
I had other things. But
Scribbles, do you drink toast water, Scribbles?
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Right? Neither did I.
Yeah, we all learned something new today.
Was that what you were drinking in your tall glass there? Toast water?
This is a glass of. Well, it wasn't Tennent's, but this is a glass from Tennent's, a Scotland brewery company. That I was just drinking a nice little beverage out of.
Okay, gotcha. But, I was drinking my tea. I like brewing some tea, but I don't know how I feel about bread water. Shishagumi, what are you doing for fun, buddy?
What am I doing? That's a good question.
Oh my god, you got to pull out some other gag, some other like PNG.
No. I'm all done with those. I'm gonna switch back to my. There we go. Get the glasses back on.
He's got the glasses back on now, folks.
Yeah. So I had.
This episode's been chaotic.
I mean, it's a Muppets Lost Media episode. Yeah. It fits perfectly.
I guess that's fine. That's true.
What was I gonna say? My very close online friend that I've known for 8 years, named James, he surprised me with
a huge peach.
He was like,
James, you have a giant peach.
Oh my god, it's wonderful. But yeah, no, he ended up he's never been to Disney World before. He lives out in California, and he's only been to Disneyland because he lives only about an hour and 30 away. So he's like, "Hey, Shish, I'm going out to Orlando next month. You want to come with me?" And I'm like, "What?" Meanwhile, I haven't met him in the 8 years we've been friends in person ever. Now he's staying over for 5 days. He's going to do all the Disney parks.
At your house?
No, that would be crazy. That would be an amazing video. He's going to this hotel, that's I think only about like a 10-minute drive away from Disney. And he's like, "We got you an extra bed. Just come and stay with us." And I'm just like, as long as there's no killing involved, we are.
We don't hear from you in a week. Or so.
Yeah, there you go. If I'm not back,
I met somebody online, and now they've got me a hotel room. It doesn't usually end well.
No,
yeah. We'll serve complimentary bread water at your funeral. Don't worry, buddy.
It's it's most fascinating because I'm going to Disneyland out for the 70th anniversary in June, and I'm actually I've never been to Disneyland before, and he's gonna meet me there. So I'm introducing him to my Disney parks, and then he's gonna introduce me to his Disney parks, and it's just a wild.
It's like a tale of two cities. It's cute.
Yeah.
Well, it's quite
Absolutely
beautiful,
wild.
isn't it? Well, not beautiful, that's too poetic. What Dan said, cute.
For that. Mm-hmm.
Scribbles, what are you doing for fun, buddy? What's going on over there across the pond, as they say?
It's currently 2:00, so probably I'm going to go to sleep after this.
Scribbles is resting for fun.
So at the moment, a little bit of an exclusive for the podcast. I'm currently living in Cardiff for a bit of time, and I've been currently having a lot of free time on my hands. So something I've been doing, just passing a bit of time, is going to some Doctor Who locations. Because those of you who don't know, they film a lot of Doctor Who in Cardiff.
Is the Doctor Who experience still open or no?
No, they closed that ages ago.
Dang. Lost media.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
What's your favorite Doctor Who location you visited in Cardiff?
Oh my goodness. So at the moment, probably my favorite one, only because I've been to it this week, is the Sarah Jane's house.
Oh,
whoa.
Those of you who are listening, I'm currently holding up a picture, me outside Sarah Jane's house, and I've been rewatching the episodes lately.
The poor people who live in that house. You damn nerds! Get away from our house!
I didn't think it too long. I crossed the road, and it was no longer than 2 minutes. It was like,
just pointing at it. Yeah.
Yeah, like, ooh, look at that.
Quit pointing at my house!
So
that's cool. It is. It must be wild. It must be like living in New York and being a big fan of Law and Order. It's just like I imagine you just every time you turn a corner, you just see it's just they filmed that there. They filmed that there. There's where the adipose came out. You know what I mean? There's where that weird red spider lady was hiding. I'm sure it's just all over the place.
Oh, I am a massive Whovian. You could easily get me going for hours and hours. Anyway, we're nearly wrapping up, and this is nothing about Doctor Who. This is all about Muppets. So
we're waiting for your Doctor Who Iceberg. So let's get it going, Mr. Doctor Who.
If I was to do that, how sad I am.
A 15-hour video, man.
Yeah, it would easily be 15 hours.
I mean, there's legitimate
that's the
lost media in Doctor Who. So
oh my gosh. But Scribbles, we are in the era of like 7 to 8 hour videos and stuff like that. So don't be shy. Don't be shy to do something like that. This Muppet
could
be incredibly successful.
7 hours, so it's good practice.
We love it. We love it.
That's wild. That's great. Well, I'm jealous of you because I'm also a big Whovian, and I love the new era. I love Ncuti Gatwa. He's fantastic. He's so good. It's Doctor Who's so great. I'm really tickled pink by it. I can't rewatch it though. I can't. It's just so bad. It's like rewatching X-Files. It's just like so. It's just so endemically terrible, like fantasy, like stuff like that. Like it just becomes so cringy in a way.
I wanted to watch all of the classic Doctor Who, but I found it very, very difficult because it stops and starts all the time in like half an hour increments, right? With credits and
it's. Because British telly, it was very different back in the 60s.
Yes, it's all cameras. So I went ahead and I just smushed. I literally just edited the stories together, all of them.
Oh, nice.
So now I have these 2 hour long actual movie versions.
You Topher graced it.
I did. They did that with some of them. They actually have 1 or 2 out that way. But and I actually I've watched all of 4, 5, 6, and 7. So
you've done it.
I did. Yes. Now I'm going back and doing 1, 2, and 3, and that's a.
Oh my god, they're even longer stories. Some of them,
they're
like
very long.
6, 7 parts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, they're like soap operas. They're like weird.
Very
long.
They're
they're like fantasy soap operas. It is odd. It's odd.
It's like if you think Netflix is the first to have a whole show that runs far too long a story.
No, it's anime rules.
Like hold my screwdriver, because it was like. We need to fill 6 weeks, and this is a 3-week story.
It's going to take Goku 8 episodes to build up enough energy for the spirit bomb.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, and that is great. We love that. It's going to take 8 episodes for him to gather enough energy for 1 attack. I love that. I love that.
Classic Doctor Who was the original One Piece. Ridiculously long arcs.
True.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
hard to stay awake in the middle. But no, I love all of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Even the classics, even the boring ones, I love it. I can't get enough of it. I hope they find more of the 60s lot.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day they will. And if not, AI will just recreate it for us. Don't worry. We got it.
Oh, yay! AI.
We've got it. We've got it. We've got it. Well, that's the episode. Scribbles to screen. Wait, like, is that the Is that the YouTube at Scribbles to screen?
Yeah, that is my at. It's Scribbles to screen.
And you got some good. I got some Bluey pilots, Shrek Lost Media. You had Back to the Future Lost Media. Some good stuff.
For ages. I was known for the Shrek stuff. That's all I got. Emails about Shrek.
Yeah. Hey, I'm in Shrek Retold too, baby. I can't wait.
Whoa! There you go.
Yeah, I have a scene in Shrek Retold too. Whenever it comes out, who knows if and when it ever will.
Lost Media.
Yeah, it might be Lost Media.
Hopefully not.
Oh, it gives me.
I recorded it now 2 years ago or something like that, but it's in good hands. So it's a good segment. It's a good wacky segment. So I'm excited. But Scribbles to screen, amazing. You're incredible. I love your icebergs. I can't wait for this Muppet one. Shish, yes. is your new YouTube at Shishagumi?
It is. Yep, same as everything else.
And when can we expect this new video, sir?
The Muppet Vision video, the hope. Yeah,
this 14-page opus you're writing.
It's going to turn into more pages.
This Unabomber text that you're putting together about the Muppet Vision.
Yeah, that's not even including all the interviews. I'm hoping to get it out before the attraction closes. I've kind of had this idea that it'd be nice to have it as a nice little thing for people to watch and be like, okay, so maybe it isn't all doom and gloom that it's leaving, because it's that's kind of wrong to say. I meant like
you're finding a lot of people that we can cancel that worked on it. I see what you're saying. I see where you're going. Guys, don't worry. There's a lot of crazy people who worked on this. It's good. It's gone. I see where you're going. Shish, it's good. It's good. It's good.
No, I meant we could look at it in a positive fashion of just like, I'm glad, because the main thing I'll say, the craziest thing I found from my research, and this is definitely, I think, going to be the main thesis of the video, is we almost didn't get it at all. Muppet Vision almost didn't open to begin with. And no one talks about that. That's not something that's talked about at all. So
right.
I feel
that feels
like
very Catholic guilt, though, doesn't it? Like you should be grateful you have Muppet Vision, because there's starving children in Africa without Muppet Vision.
There are starving Scribbles in Britain that don't have Muppet Vision.
Yeah, there's a starving Scribble. So eat your Muppet Vision, and don't you leave any on the plate. So that's a little shame based. So you may want to think about that. That's all I'm saying.
It's gonna be for me, Muppet Vision being one of, if not, it's definitely my favorite attraction Disney's ever done. Ride, I'm not sure, but attraction Disney's ever done.
It's a great attraction, yeah.
No doubt. And the video, the video, I feel like it's just gonna go. I'm hoping it'll just, like, for all the people who have the most high amounts of autism, ADHD, like they're gonna
neurodivergence.
Yes, everything, all of the above. They're gonna love it, because I'm gonna go. Not obviously people that aren't that way also are gonna love it, but I'm just saying I'm gonna go into the most nitty gritty, most specific of detail, humanly. Like I'll be like, oh yeah, and that brick that's on that wall in that corner, that means this, that, because like no one's done that with this, and I feel like it's such a special project. It being Jim Henson's last major work. I feel like it deserves someone to truly dive deep into what it is, what it represents, how it came to be, what was supposed to be around it, which is a whole other conversation. So
I can't wait to see what you pull together.
Yeah.
You know what, Shish? I think that's the great thing. What we do is that we truly leave no stone unturned.
Yeah, we can.
And that's lost media in general. Like you to truly make sure to scour everything, you just leave no stone unturned.
Can you imagine how hard it is for Shish to leave no stone unturned without arms that work?
Oh, oh man.
This has been fun. Thanks for listening. The podcast is over now.
This has been a production of 710 Media.